Why is it? Oh, that's what's up. Why is it so dark? I'm just cutting off half of my head. Let me look on here so I can see what it looks like. Cause on here it looks crazy. Let me see. Is the color? Maybe I need to know. Oh, it looks fine on here. Let me see. It just looks dark. Maybe if I sit on this side. Is this any better? A little bit. A little bit. Okay, hold on, y'all. Why y'all twisted? Hold on, y'all. Okay, maybe that's it. So who here? Who here, y'all? I ain't been here in so long. We haven't done this in so long. I just wanted to come in and talk about. Okay, I don't like that. Um, Shakari Richardson. So, the Washington Post posted that Shakari will not be allowed to compete in any event at the Tokyo Olympics. Let me see if there is an article. Let's see if the article will come up. Okay, so the New York Times. Shakari Richardson, not chosen for U.S. relay team, will miss the Tokyo Olympics. So it says the star sprinter who lost the chance to run in the 100-meter individual event after failing a drug test for marijuana could have been chosen for the relay team, but officials decided not to include her. Shakari Richardson, the American sprinter whose positive test result for marijuana cost her a spot in the women's 100 meters at the Tokyo Olympics and ignited a debate about marijuana in sports, will miss the games entirely. And so, of course, the New York Times won't let you read the whole article unless you subscribe, and that's a no for me. But in essence, she won't be going to the Olympic Games at all, period. And when this controversy first started, I had a feeling that this was, gonna come down the hotline because if she was disqualified for the race that she had won to get her placement on the team, if she was disqualified, then that meant that she was going to be disqualified for the team. And So yeah, they said she won't be going to Tokyo at all, and this has prompted an interesting conversation, especially with Black people, comparing her to Mike Phelps, who was a Olympic swimmer who did not ever test positive for marijuana. During his competition, he was seen in a photo for what appeared to him smoking a bong in a photo, but never while he was competing did he test positive for drugs. When that photo came out, it was months after the Olympics, not during the Olympic trials or during a period of time when he was in competition. It was after he had finished the Olympics, won his medals and everything. So I don't feel like his situation and her situation should, they're apples and oranges. Like they shouldn't even, you shouldn't even use him to justify what she did because it's totally different. And he was suspended for 3 months, even though he didn't, I don't think he tested positive, and it was after the Olympics were over. He was still suspended. He still um, lost his endorsements and stuff. But it wasn't while the Olympics were going on. This young lady did this. Obviously, she had smoked before her before the run because I guess they get tested right after. So you did that before your competition, or you was doing it during your competition, and she used her mother's death as her excuse for getting high. Now, let me say this: losing your mother, as I want to say as a woman, because I can only come from a woman's perspective. I can't come from a man's perspective because I'm not a man. But losing your mother is a very traumatic um, experience. It is. But I lost my mother. As a matter of fact, I've lost two mothers. I lost my biological mother first, and then I lost the mother that raised me, which was my adopted mother. And in that sense, I don't even like to really call her my adopted mother, but I'm just, giving context of how I lost two mothers and never, like weed or alcohol or any substance was never at the forefront of my mind to soothe that grief, because you can't soothe grief with substances. That will never heal your trauma or grief or anything. It's only going to mask it. It's like putting a band-aid on a third-degree burn. It's only going to mask it for a little while, and you know it will, the wound under there will get infected, it will seep, it will continue to bleed, it will continue to infect the rest of your body because you're not actually treating the root, you're just trying to cover it up. And with marijuana, alcohol, any type of drugs, that's the only thing that it does for grief or trauma or pain or hurt or whatever. It just covers it up for the moment. So her saying, oh, and people, oh, give her a break. She lost her mom. She did that because she lost her mom. No, I'm sorry. And I guess part of that from me is being a substance abuse counselor. And I know that people that use drugs will use any type of excuse to justify their behavior. And the majority of time, the behavior that they have is in some way messing up their lives. And a lot of the women that I work with, it was their children. They had lost their children. They had lost their jobs. They had lost their children. And they had all kind of excuses to still continue to use drugs. Now, this young lady has lost one of the biggest accomplishments, accomplishment that your everyday person will never see in their lifetime. Like you have worked to reach the pinnacle of your sport, because going to it's nothing bigger than going to the Olympics as an athlete. There's nothing larger than that. That's the end goal. That's like the football players, their end goal is to make it to the Super Bowl. So for an athlete at her caliber, her end goal was to make it to the Olympics. And you get right to the finish line and just take your shoes off and throw them in the stands and say, my mama just died, but I'ma still go to the Olympics. Y'all still gonna take me because I'm all that. And so there has been a lot of support for her, because a lot of my subscribers are like, let her go. I'm gonna read some of the comments because y'all have been supporting her. Like, y'all think that um she should be able to go. There are comments today. Someone said, that's a bit harsh. Give her a chance. Test her in 30 days. Let her prove herself. I won't support. So I guess this person means that they won't be supporting the Olympics. So test her in 30 days. Why? Because she already failed her test. She was tested and she failed. So why would they test her again in 30 days? You already failed. You're on a 30-day suspension. So why would you then be tested again in 30 days? You're suspended. She's suspended from the team. So there's no reason to support her, to test her again. And saying that, not letting her run is a bit harsh, but if that is the if that's the rules of the Olympics, and that it's the rules, because I'm pretty sure she knew that they had those rules in place, then how is that being harsh? That's just part of the game. That's just like when we drive our car, we know that there are certain rules of the road, and if we don't follow those rules, then we don't get to drive. If you do certain things, the police are going to pull you over and ask you what you're doing. And, it becomes the discretion of the officer. Sometimes he may let you go, and sometimes, depending on what you did, you have to get a ticket. And I just don't understand, how we look at certain situations and figure that, oh, it's okay for that person to break the law because we like them. But if it's somebody else, there's no way in the world that you want them to break the law. That if they break the law, then they have to be harshly punished. And someone else said it's totally unfair. Meanwhile, they have a trans talking about burning the USA flag upon placing first and recording it. So they allowed that behavior to compete. Meanwhile, we blocked this young lady's good opportunity for that. Come on now, truly irritating for me and how so many people are locked up. For example, here in Houston, locked up so many years for tiny amounts of marijuana. Meanwhile, other states is okay. Shaking my head. They know Miss Shakari, a strong one though, understand rules, but again, come on now, shaking my head. There are a lot of people who are locked up for small amounts of marijuana, and they gonna stay locked up because just because marijuana is legal in certain states, I don't think that changed the distribution laws about marijuana. Those laws, some of those laws have not changed. Distribution, selling, packaging, all of that kind of stuff. Now that stuff is probably still illegal, but it's legal for you to go into certain dispensaries and buy marijuana and use it um, at home or whatever. But there are still laws governing marijuana itself as a drug. So I think that's two um, totally different things. Like, yeah, I do believe that this young lady is extremely talented. And I think if she can get some people in her corner who will help her direct her energy into a more positive way of life, she will be extremely successful. But on the road that she's on now, I see there being a lot of problems. So it's one more comment that I wanted to read. And this person said, I'm so proud of her. This young lady's been at it for a long time. I feel like they, I felt like they would try to count her out. Yes, she tested positive. Nike not gonna let her go. But after seeing that, I truly believe there is a bigger, better opportunity for her. So I'm proud of her too. I'm extremely proud of her. Like, I don't know her story. I didn't even know who she was until, well, for one thing, I don't follow any athletes. I don't follow any sports. I kind of will watch sometimes the gymnastics portion of the Olympics, but that's about it. Unless it's somebody big like this young lady. But before the Olympics, I didn't, I had no clue who she was. So, I can't speak to the part of that, who she was before this. I don't think that, she is being targeted. I don't think it's a conspiracy to hurt this young lady particularly or to do anything to her because she's black, and people have such a quick tendency to turn every situation into, oh, they just doing her dirty because she's black, or they doing this because she's black, or they want to hold the black woman down. No one protects the black woman. If she wasn't black, this wouldn't happen to her. I don't see that either. And I'm one of the most down with the cause black people it is, but I don't see this particular situation as happening to her, or someone is doing something to her with specifically trying to hurt her because she's black. I don't see that. I don't see it in this situation. I see someone that made a very horrible mistake. I see someone that did not, someone that is very young and may not have the people around her that are helping her to go in the right direction. That's what I see. I see somebody young, just all over the place. Maybe she has been through a lot in life and is just, not grounded, not centered enough to complete this task. That's what I see. I just see somebody that made a huge mistake. And this is not a little mistake. This is a mistake that can really mess up the rest of her career, because now she's got to stay where she is right now. What happened? Oh, the back door was open. She has to stay where she is right now, physically, but she has to grow mentally. She's got to retain the speed. She's got to keep her weight at where she is now, her body conditioning for 3 years to be where she is right now. And that's hard for a woman, because our bodies are naturally going through things every month. Our weight is fluctuating every month. So to stay in this same conditioning that she's in now for 3 years is going to be difficult. I've looked at pictures of myself 3 years ago, and I look totally different. Your body is not, every year your body is changing. So she's gonna, really have to be very strict for 3 or 4 years, or however long it takes for her to get back to Olympic status. That's, we sitting here, we little armchair quarterbacks, we sitting here thinking that, oh, that's nothing for her. That's nothing. She can come back in 3 years. Do you realize how long 3 years is? And what can happen in 3 years? She can get pregnant. Her hormones can change. Her body structure can change. She can gain weight. All those things. 3 years is a long time for an athlete. A long time. Athletes have shelf lives. They like vegetables. When you bring them home, you gotta cook them and eat them right away, or they go bad. That's how they are. You're not going. You can't stay on top as an athlete forever. You only got so much time. So, hi, Shauna. Hi, Gaddafi. I'm sorry, I'm not talking about Orishas today. So, I have a whole playlist. If you want to watch videos about Orishas, you can go over there and watch the Orisha playlist. I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about Shakari Richardson. So, I'm really hoping that I'm really hoping that this young lady will, get a team around her to, kind of help her process um, what's going on right now. Because the internet is, an interesting place. Because they can be for you today. Today, everybody can be like, yes, girl, we love you. You're our queen. We're fighting with you. And then you can say something that someone doesn't like. And tomorrow they will be ready to cut your head off and burn you at the stake. And I really do believe that Shakari is pushing towards people burning her at the stakes if she, don't tone down her social media presence. When something happens like this, her best bet was to, she did her interviews with the morning shows, Good Morning America, the Today Show, all of those shows. She went on those and, she took accountability for what she did. And I think that should have been it. I think she should have just, thanked her fans for the support and just laid low. Because, coming on social media, basically wanting people to boycott the Olympics, and, there are so many other black athletes, black female athletes, black male athletes. I think we have one of the first black female swimmers going to the Olympics, and I think she is the first one that we've had in a long time, and she not getting no attention. None of the other black girls on the relay team is getting any attention, and I think like boycotting the Olympics, you're taking away from other people who have worked extremely hard to make it. So we just supposed to like ignore them and just treat them like they don't exist because Shakari made a mistake? No, that's not fair. And I'm not, gonna lie and say, oh well, I'm, gonna watch all of the Olympics, because the Olympics is really not my thing. I've never watched the entire Olympics. Now, if I could have figured out what, when Shakari was running, or if I saw it on social media that she was, coming on or whatever, I probably would have tuned in just to see. But I'm not, per se an Olympic watcher. No, they released a statement and said she will not be at the Tokyo Olympics, period. So even after her 30-day suspension, she did not make the team. They they released that statement last night. So she won't even make it to Tokyo. So I just think that the people that are going to Tokyo, those are the people that we should be applauding. We should be lifting them up, not, wanting to boycott the Olympics because one person didn't make the cut. That's not fair to all of the rest of the the athletes that did. So I really hope that we have, give some of them their flowers also. Don't just make it seem like Shakari was the only one out there um, running, because she wasn't. There were other people out there. Shakari wasn't the only person. And I hope that, Shakari gets some people on her team to, some people around her in her circle to help her. Because sometimes it be your own friends. Girl, yeah, come on, let's smoke. Let's do this. Let's do that. Because I'm pretty sure all of the friends that she have, they're not on the Olympic team. They don't know the rules and regulations. Girl, they can't do nothing to you. And then here we are in the situation that we're in now. Yes, girl, they can do something to you. And Nike didn't want to be the company to, turn their back on her while she was going through this situation. So they released a statement and said, oh, yeah, we're going to stick by her. But I feel like if Shakari keeps talking, Nike is going to come out and be like, okay, well, we've had to distance ourselves from her because, we don't want what's going on with her to tarnish our brand. And trust me, they will do that. They trying to work with her right now, but they will if she keeps talking. So let's say a little prayer for her, and hope that she can get herself together, and hope that the next 3 years she would be able to stay healthy and stay strong and prove to the world that she could do it, because it's a big deal. 3 years is a long time for an athlete. So that's it, y'all. I just wanted to come in and talk about that situation. It's windy out here. It's getting cold. I didn't realize it was this windy. It only be windy on the back, huh?
It's always windy here.
No, I mean it's windier on the back side than the front. Because when we came in, it wasn't.
Yeah, because you have a house, these houses
blocking the wind. Yeah. Janet Lewis said she threw away millions of dollars for a $5 joint. Well, I don't know how much the joint was. It could have been, weed. It's not that cheap if you go to the dispensary. Uh, it could have been more than that, child. But I do understand your point. She threw away um, endorsements, and Nike is going to stay with her. Of course, Nike, if they stay with her, they'll stay with her. But whoever wins at the Olympics, is their endorsements is going to be the ones that matter. Like whoever wins at the Olympics will get that coveted spot on the Wheaties box, and probably a car endorsement and all of that. She not gonna get that. She won't see that. she won't be on because Nike always does very good uh, commercials, like their commercial endorsement commercials for women that make it to the Olympics or, really high up in sports. I could have seen the endorsements that they would have did for her with, all this dramatic hair and nails and all of that kind of stuff. They would have really put her out there, I think. I really do. Like they would have had her picture at the Foot Lockers and all these places, child. But no, not now. Whoever goes to the Olympics now and show out and win the gold for the United States will be the one whose picture will be plastered everywhere. By the end of July, they will not speak Shakari's name again because whoever won at the Olympics, that person, that's going to be the it girl. And she messed that up. Yeah. And I do believe she could have won. I really do. I believe she could have went to the Olympics and brought home the gold medal and millions of dollars for herself. But yeah, her family would have been set. This could have been a situation where she could have taken her grandmother and, really helped her out. But because her grandmother was so proud, I mean, for her to win and then, oh, okay, for her to, win and then come out of the stands and, go into the stands and find her grandmother and like hug her grandmother and all of that. I mean, it was beautiful. So you would think, that she would have did all that she could to continue to make her grandmother proud, and instead she, you know, kind of fumbled in the end, which which is sad to me. And I don't see how um, we can blame anybody for that, but her. It angers me when black people don't hold other black people accountable for, the things that they've done. Like this is a situation that did not have to happen. This didn't have to happen. This was, you knew this. You're an athlete. You know that you can't use any type of drugs, period. And people were trying to use the excuse that, well, it wasn't performance enhancing. It doesn't matter. You can't have anything in your system. Just like my husband is a bus driver. Now he is a supervisor. So he's not really driving he doesn't have a route that he drives. But he still can be randomly drug tested. So 4th of July weekend, he can't smoke because you smoke 4th of July weekend. Okay, so that was Sunday. Okay, so anytime during 4th of July weekend, which was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, he didn't work. He was off Monday. He didn't go back to work until Tuesday. So even if he had did something Friday night when he got off work, drug test Tuesday, you ain't did nothing else. You just did something Friday when you got home from work. Bam, random drug test Tuesday. You test positive. you in trouble. Now my husband don't smoke, period. And he, don't drink. Because he knows that there are his job can do a random drug test at any moment. He can go to work and they can say, hey, you got an hour. They give you a certain amount of time to get to the place and get back to work. Why risk your job doing something that you already know when you signed your employment information, they told you then that this job has random drug tests. When she became an athlete at the level that she was, they told her after certain meets, you're going to be drug tested because they want to make sure that you're not using anything. And marijuana is only legal in certain states here in the US. It's not legal in other areas. It's not legal in Australia. It's not legal in these Asian countries. It's not legal. So you have athletes coming from all over the world who are going by the Olympic guidelines and standards. They not on drugs. So why should Shakari be allowed to do drugs just because she black? No, that's stupid. That is y'all. You don't have no rationale. That don't make no sense. That's crazy. If you want to see my feet, you better go to my Instagram. There's some nice pictures of my feet on my Instagram. Go to my Instagram. Because you sure ain't going to see them on here. Jenny said the athlete was 21 years old. Where were her mentors? I wonder about that also. So they don't have, like, I know they have to have somebody. I know she's young. So she, needs someone to guide her. They don't have nobody telling them, girl, you can't do so and so. Don't do that, girl. You're gonna get in trouble. Ain't nobody telling them. Peanut Jelly 90 said obviously she should have known. What if she had liquor in her system? I don't know if they test for alcohol. I don't think they do. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what shows up. I don't know what level of. I would have to research and see, you know, what they're looking for. Janice said I could not be a bus driver. Girl, me either. I know I could. I see black people doing silly stuff all the time. I was shocked when the news came out. She failed her drug test. I was too. I was really shocked. Yeah. When she used the excuse that her mom died. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Yeah, I was really surprised. I really was. I was shocked because I was like, now I know this girl no better than to be out here smoking and you on this Olympic team. I know you know better. If I was, oh my God, if I was her grandmother, I would be so hurt. I mean, of course, you support, you want to support, you have to be there to support. But I would be so disappointed. So disappointed. I mean, and you know, if I, and I'm speaking from my perspective because, like I'm heavily into social media. Like I run three Instagram pages. Yeah, three Instagram pages. I have two Facebook pages, two YouTube channels that I run. So I'm like really into social media. And if I was her grandmother and I was seeing all of the, you know, comments about her, I would really, 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 you know, pull her closer to me because I would know that she would need that love and nurturing. But deep down inside, I would be so disappointed. I would be so hurt because we was almost, we was almost there, girl. Like you got right to the finish line. That's like getting to heaven and spitting in Jesus' face. Like you was right there, right there. And you just, like my mama used to say, it's just like pow, give a good bucket of milk and kick it over right there. And you messed up. So yeah, I would be totally disappointed. I would be so disappointed. So disappointed. Peanut Jelly said she is in a prominent position. There are going to be people waiting for her to slip. Yeah, yeah, there were. There, the person who just missed that by like a second or a couple of seconds, or who was right behind her, now gets the opportunity to maybe win. And I don't think it's that people. Is this on my face right there? Y'all let me talk all this time and I had a crime right there. Y'all ain't my friends. Um, I don't think people were waiting for her to fail. You know what I mean? Like I really don't think like her teammates and stuff were waiting for her to fail. But of course it's always somebody in the shadow waiting for their chance to make it if you mess up. I was also wondering why she is doing interviews about failing her drug test. She just made herself look stupid. Well, I think people want to hear. Um, I don't think it made her look stupid. I think that it made her look human. You know what I mean? At least she acknowledged that she did something wrong. Of course, these morning shows are gonna want to hear like why did you do, I think that's the thing. People want to know why you did what you did as an athlete. When people mess up, they always interview people when they mess up, when they do something wrong, when they do something that they shouldn't do. And i think she I think she had a publicist after she messed up, and they told her, you know, don't lie and say you didn't do it because you did. And it's black and white that you did it. So go ahead, say you did it, and, say you made a mistake and, that you learned from it. But I think she just is coming off just a little cocky and arrogant. And I think that's where people are, you know, starting to have some issues with some of the things that she's saying. I think it's still the way she said it. I knew she was going to, I knew once this happened, she was going to have to do some interviews to, because that's what things do. That's what they do. celebrities do when they mess up. Good Morning America and these morning shows and the talk shows and stuff will interview them to the side of the story. Oh, Janet says she. Oh, okay. Thank you, Janet. Because I was hoping you would tell me, girl, you got a crumb right there. Ooh, right there too. I finally saw it. There's zero reason to smoke weed as a professional athlete. Many athletes fail drug tests. There's not. There is no reason. If you have anxiety, or she said she was doing that to cope with what was going on with her, then you should have spoke to your coach, and they could have got you a therapist. They would have got a therapist to come to you. Like, you wouldn't even have had to go to the therapist. The therapist would have come to you. They could have got you a therapist. They could have gotten you some type of medicine that does not come up on because there are still things that athletes can take. They can take Tylenol and certain pain medications and stuff, just not drugs that are considered illegal. They could have, gotten her antidepressant or, something to help her calm down, or, therapy, meditation, something other than marijuana. You just not going to tell me that marijuana is the only thing that was going to help you. When I lost my mother, I wasn't smoking. I ain't smoking nothing. I done lost two mamas and two daddies and my sister. And I ain't smoking no weed. Not for grief. Now I smoke now, my CBD and stuff for pain, but it's not for grief. There are certain things that marijuana ain't gonna help you with. And I don't believe that, to me, I don't even see marijuana helping even all people with anxiety, because some people get paranoid when they smoke. It depends on what they smoking. So some of them can smoke some weed and freak out and trip out and stuff, and get all paranoid and everything. So that's not for everybody. And there was no excuse for her if she needed a doctor to, give her something for anxiety, or, however she was feeling. Girl, you got the top resources at your fingertips. So you smoking weed because you want to smoke weed. Just call a spade a spade. She may not look concerned about the money, but I'm pretty sure she is. I'm pretty sure. When this smoke clears of this thing and she see her teammates in Tokyo, because I'm pretty sure they gonna be, posting pictures and, doing whatever they can, interviews. They gonna be doing these kids backstories, how they got to the Olympics, and she gonna sit there and watch that and be like, that should have been me. She, they in Tokyo. They in Tokyo now. I think they're already there, aren't they? I think they're gonna be there until what, the 25th? Once them pictures start coming from Tokyo, and one of her teammates get this big, huge Nike endorsement, that's when it's gonna hit her. And what is she gonna do now? Find a job? Because your big payday ain't gonna happen. So I hope she spent what money she got wisely. Um, maybe she didn't. Maybe she wasn't careless before. Maybe she wasn't, careless. Maybe she, took care of herself and didn't smoke. Or maybe before this, she hadn't made the Olympic team. This made her make the Olympic team. So this was probably the first time she was tested. She probably wasn't, maybe they weren't testing in college. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, I don't think she, I don't want to say that she high like that, crazy high. I mean, there are people that smoke weed and function every day. In the real life, you can function and smoke weed. I smoke weed, had kids, live my life. I'm not gonna go in on her like she a crackhead, but she a professional athlete. So there's a difference. Oh, it's July 23rd to, yeah, but they get there before, they have to get there and get settled. Aren't they already there? Or they're not there yet? I don't know, child. I thought they said that they were already getting ready to go. Yeah, I mean, I got friends that smoke weed. I'm not gonna say that people that smoke weed are bad people because they're not. I know professional people, people with PhDs and master's degrees, and that smoke weed. That's not. I'm not gonna say that's a bad thing. I smoke. I'm a normal person. Take care of my house, husband, dog, grandkids. So let's not put weed in the same category as someone on the side of the road smoking meth because it's not. But in her situation, she's a professional athlete that just should not have been doing it. Period. And she got caught in a bad situation, and it cost her a whole lot of money. And it, just could really mess up her life. I hope she can come back from this, but 3 years is a long time. Whether people, want to acknowledge that or not, 3 years is a long time. Yeah, I thought they said that they were leaving soon or there. One or the other. I'm not really sure. But I know they don't wait until the day of the Olympics to get there. No, she's not traveling with the no. She's not going. I think they said she's not going. The only people that's traveling with the team is the team and the coaches and all of that. She did not make the team. Her 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 time was disqualified. So they disqualified her time and she didn't make the team. So no, she won't be traveling to Tokyo, period. So I mean, I really hope that she learns a lesson from this. I hope that she can come back. I really, really do. I really hope she can come back. I hope she can get some people, in her camp that can help her and kind of guide her and get her ego in check. Because this really does seem like a ego imbalance. And it's so easy for your ego to push you into situations that can hurt you. Because your ego is a funny thing. If you've never studied the brain and how the ego and the mind works, then it's hard for you to understand that. But professional athletes, that whole mind, body, and spirit has to be in alignment, because once you allow the mind, that's why it's mind, body, and spirit alignment. You got to keep that ego in check, because if you don't, it will take you to a bad place. And so I'm really hoping, spiritually, she can get herself together, and someone can help her get herself together so that, she can move forward. So I'm out. We've been on here an hour. I thank you, Janet. And who else was here? The person that wanted to see my feet, and Peanut Jelly 90. I appreciate you. Kadifi Villain, I don't know if they're still here, and Shauna Johnson. I appreciate you all for coming by and talking to me today. I'm not sure about, doing any more lives, because lives is not my thing anymore. But I just wanted to come on for a while and talk about that. I don't know if none of my regular people were notified, or they went back to work and they just can't be here during the day. And it could be that, because people are going back to work now that this whole panorama is settling down. People are going back to work and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we will do some. Maybe I'll put lives on the list to do maybe one a week. I'll have to pick a day and see, and a time to see when everybody can come to the lives. We'll work on that. I'm still working on the crystal shop, putting all of the crystals on my other Instagram page that I'm going to start linking in the description. So I will see you guys soon. I appreciate you for coming by. I love you. Bye.